So, good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again. We are going to talk about Ollie Watkins linked to an Arsenal move in the summer. We are keeping tabs on the Villa striker. Before we get into the ins and outs of this and whether I think it happened and whether I actually like him or not, make sure you are sticking a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the second channel. That would be equally as helpful. Lee Reacts. I did a video about Messi on that other channel. So make sure you go and check that out. He is linked to a 400 million a year deal to Saudi Arabia. So make sure you go and check that out as well, people. But we are going to talk about Ollie Watkins, a player that Arsenal, in the media at least, have been linked to for a very long time, couple of years at least. And it's a player that I do actually like. I know a lot of people don't rate him, but I actually personally like him. I actually think he's not a bad player at all. And he's not going to cost an absolute fortune either. And I know this shouldn't be the benchmark, people. I know it shouldn't, but he is better than Eddie Nketiah, who should not be here next season. For me, hopefully, we do bin Eddie in the summer because, like I said, he ain't good enough. And well done, you've scored a couple of goals for us, mate. Fantastic, cheers. But ultimately, going into next season, I don't want to see him here. Ollie Watkins under Unai Emery has been rejuvenated. He has started to bag goals, and he is becoming quite a handful for defenders. He's bagged 11 goals this season now. Chipped in, if you're an assists merchant, chipped in with 5 assists. That's 10 goals in the Premier League and 1 in the EFL Cup. He's not done bad at all. He's played a couple of games on the left wing. He's played a couple on the right wing. But most of his 30 games this season in all competitions, 26 of them, he's played up front. And like I said, in the league, he's bagged 10 goals, 5 assists, which very quietly has took him up the standings for top goal scorers in the league. And I've liked Ollie Watkins, like I said, for quite a few years now. And I think the thing is, he's not clinical. He's not one that's going to go and bag 25 goals a season. We all know that. But what I do like about him is the fact that he can hold the ball up. He does work the channels, which is a nightmare for defenders because it drags them out of position, gets other gaps opening up in the attacking positions. And his passing is mad underrated. Listen, it's not amazing, but it is mad underrated. And he scores all types of different goals as well. Let's not forget also, this guy did score a hat-trick at Anfield against Liverpool. Not this season, the season before, I think. I think it was last season. He's got a hat-trick at Anfield. That is not easy to do. And I know this firsthand because Arsenal haven't scored hardly any goals against Liverpool at Anfield for a decade. So, yeah, well done to Ollie Watkins for bagging a hat-trick there. But we are linked to him. We are keeping tabs on him, apparently. And listen, the more he's impressing at Aston Villa this season, the more and more clubs are going to be looking at him as well. And like I said, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. And he's only got 2 years left on his contract at the end of this season. He's only just turned 27, so he's not a bad age either. And I said this in a previous video that I did earlier. Go and check that out as well about Caicedo. I want to see Premier League proven players come to the club. I want to see players that are doing it week in, week out, that are playing very well. Yeah, he's one of them. Ivan Toney's another. We've not been linked to him yet. Obviously, he's got the whole betting thing over his head at the moment, which is probably putting a lot of clubs and a lot of fans off of that particular player. But one thing I will say about Watkins, is he is, for me, I think he fits us perfectly. Yeah, he's got work rate, and he has not got a bad goal scoring record. I'm looking at his Villa record now: 106 games for Villa. He's bagged 38 goals. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. 12 assists as well. So GA is 1 in 2. When he was at Brentford, it was about the same as well. So he's obviously leveled up coming into the Premier League. And let's be real, he was playing under Steven Gerrard as well, which, let's be real, they were 17th in the league and he looked all out of sorts, didn't look like he was interested. But neither did the whole team. The whole team looked devoid of ideas and confidence. Since Unai Emery's gone there, Unai Emery's elevated them. And I think Emery's got the 3rd most wins in the Premier League since he's joined that club. Only Pep's got 1 more than him. And Arteta's got 3 more than him, I think. So Emery's turned that team around. And we all know, being Arsenal fans, that when Emery had Aubameyang and Lacazette, we were flying, scoring goals and goals and goals. I remember we slapped up Valencia 7 over 2 legs to get to Europa League final. Less said about the final, the better. But we were scoring a lot of goals, and the strikers, he does know how to get his strikers scoring, Unai Emery. Yeah, and now he's at Villa. They're currently sat 7th in the table. They're on course to get Europe. And I don't think anybody could have said that when he got the job and they were 17th or 18th in the table. And part of that is down to him getting Ollie Watkins scoring goals pretty much week in, week out. Scored again yesterday, scored against Chelsea at the weekend. Just looking through now. Scored a couple against, where are we? I've lost it. Sorry, that's assist. He got a couple of assists. I'm going through the teams he scored against this season. If you look in the last 10 games or whatever, Southampton he scored. Next game, Leicester he scored. Man City he scored. Arsenal he scored. Everton he scored. He then blanked. Then he scored against West Ham. He then got an assist against Bournemouth. He then scored against Chelsea. Scored against Leicester. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals and 1 assist in his last 9 games. That's some decent form. And that is testament to Unai Emery getting him playing well. Yeah, not only that, he's probably playing with a lot of confidence. If you look at the start of the season, he scored 2 goals all the way up to the World Cup. He only scored 2 goals and 3 assists all the way up to the World Cup. And then as soon as we come back from the World Cup, Boxing Day, goal. The next game, that was against Liverpool. The next game, he got an assist against Tottenham. He then blanked for a couple of games. And then he's gone on this form now. So since Christmas, since Boxing Day, he scored 10 goals. That's pretty relentless. And again, like I said, that is down to Unai getting a system in place that suits the striker. And when you get a striker scoring goals, it's a confidence thing. They score and they score and they score. He doesn't tend to score more than 1 in a game. He hasn't done that all season in the league anyway. But yeah, he's not a bad player. And I've liked him since he was at Brentford, if I'm being honest. But he's not a fashionable name. He's not a top elite level goal scorer. But at the same time, when I look at the goal scorers we've got, Gabriel Jesus is not prolific, but he's more than a goal scorer. He's a danger no matter what. Yes, I know he bagged a couple at the weekend, but he's not going to go and bag you 20 goals a season. And I don't think we need a striker that's going to go and bag 20 a season, because we've seen at other clubs, you can have strikers that go and do that, but ultimately it takes it away from your wingers or your attacking midfielder. And I think with us, his game's good enough to come into our team. You know, he will press, he will work the channels, he will chase lost causes, he will work back, he will get back in midfield and get stuck in. He can win headers, he can shoot with his left and his right. I think it's a no-brainer to go and sign him. Whether we do or not remains to be seen. Transfer market value him at around 30 mil. I think that's a little bit low, if I'm being completely honest, especially the way he's flying at the minute. And if he continues that form from now to the end of the season, I'd say around 45, at 45 maybe. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I like him. I think he's a good player, man. He scored against Man United in the EFL Cup this season as well. So yeah, in the 3rd round, they obviously lost that game, but he scored one of their 2 goals in that as well. Not a bad player, man. And I think that we could do a lot worse than going and signing him in the summer, that's for sure. We could continue with Eddie Nketiah, which, by the way, sorry, that's failed. Yeah, he scored a couple of goals. He scored against United, last-minute winner and all of that. Fantastic. Scored against Chelsea, scored 5 at the end of last season, whatever, which ultimately took us from 4th to 5th. But this player, I think, is a lot better all round. I think his whole all-round game is a lot better than Eddie Nketiah. And like I said at the very beginning, Eddie Nketiah should not be the benchmark here. But I do think that this guy is a confidence player. And if he's playing with better players around him and you're creating more chances for him, I do think he would elevate himself up. Like I said, he's got 10 goals in the league this season. I think that if you could have got him starting scoring goals at the very start of the season, I reckon this is like a 15 to 18 a season striker, which I think if we have that in our team with Trossard, with Saka, with Nelly, like with Odegaard, Jesus, yeah, and I think with Champions League coming up, we are going to have a look at another option. Not only that, most of our strikers are dwarfs. Yeah, this one's not. He's not exactly massive, but he's not tiny, and he has got an aerial threat. So, yeah, I like him, man. I think he's a good player, and I think that we could do a lot worse than signing him in the summer. But let me know your thoughts and feelings on all of that Would you sign Ollie Watkins, or is this just recency bias from League Ghana? It's not. Anyone who's watched this channel for a while knows when I've done transfer video on him in the summer, I think it was, take him in a heartbeat. You know, I like him. He's a good player, man. And Unai's got him playing very, very well at the moment. But let me know your thoughts on all of that. Love to know what you guys think about Ollie Watkins. Would you take him? Do you think he's good enough? Do you think that he could step up a level and play for Arsenal? Or do you think his level is kind of around Villa? But let me know. Leave it all down below. I'll be back again after the football tonight. 10 o'clock tonight, there will be another video out about another striker as well. That striker, yeah, come and check the video out. I'm about to record that one now, but that'll be scheduled for 10 o'clock tonight. Smash the likes up, share the content. The MESSI video on Lee Reacts is down below as well. So make sure you go and check that out as well. And we're out of here, people. Laters.